Introduction to Music Theory, Module 6. Main characteristics of major scales are the initial major third, half steps between third and fourth, and 7 and 8 scale degrees, and natural occurrence of the leading tone. C major is only one of major scales. In fact, a major scale can be created from every pitch and every key on the keyboard. But there is an order among scales, and it begins from the relationship of the two main clefs as already elaborated in Module 1 highlights. Remember how the treble and bass clef, that is notes they demarcate, G and F, are located at the same distance from the middle C, creating a perfect fifth up and a perfect fifth down. From this point, major scales and keys branch out at the same distance and in both directions. We'll first look at the direction going up. To a bridge skipping through octaves in the top picture, the second picture shows initial notes for scales in order of the circle of fifths going up condensed in one octave. The order of scales and keys is C major, G major, D major, A major, E major, B major, F sharp major, and C sharp major. Since we haven't covered intervals, instead of calculating the interval of perfect fifth, just count 5 letter notes up, including the initial note. For example, the next scale up from G major would be, counting 5, G, A, B, C, D. D is the fifth note in the next scale. But don't forget to account for any sharps within a scale, otherwise you'll end up with F after B major scale instead of F sharp. This will come easier once we go over key signatures. By looking at the keyboard, you can see that all scales in the circle of fifth going up start on white keys, except the last two. All of the scales of the circle of fifth going up contain only sharps. Major scales contain either sharps or flats exclusively. Don't mix them in a major. In the down direction, again, look at the simplified circle of fifths condensed in one octave. The order of scale is C major, F major, B flat major, E flat major, A flat major, D flat major, G flat major, and C flat major. Again, count 5 notes down, including the first note to get to the next key, and account for any flats contained in the particular scale. For example, next scale down from B flat would be counting 5. B flat, A flat, G, F, E flat. E flat major is the next scale. In the second picture, start from the right from C4 to move in the direction of the keyboard. On the keyboard, you can see that all scales in the circle of fifth going down start on black keys, except for the first two, C and F majors. All of the scales in the circle of fifth down contain only flats. Major scales contain either sharps or flats exclusively. Don't mix them in a major. Review of the most pertinent features of major scales. Beginning major third. Half steps between 3 and 4 and 7 and 8. Leading tone naturally exists on the 7th scale degree. Use major scale structure as a template. Scales are ordered in the circle of fifth going up and down. Count 5 notes up or down to find the next scale. Scales going up circle of fifth have sharps. Scales going down have flats. Now, key signatures. Scales going up the circle of fifths feature sharps. Remember the naturally occurring leading tone in major scales? Since most of the starting scale keys are white, the leading tone will be a black key. These leading tones make up key signatures in order they appear. In the second picture, I wanted to show a close relationship between the leading tone and its resolution, the new scale's starting note. They're next to each other. The leading tone just half step below the next scale initial note. For example, the 7th scale degree in G major is F sharp. That is the key signature for G major. The next scale going up from G major is D major. The leading tone for D major is its 7th scale degree, C sharp. This will be the newest sharp added. but we first must import the previous sharp from G major. That would be first F sharp and then the new one, C sharp. This is the key signature for D major. Let's move further, for example, to B major. B major inherited 4 sharps from all previous scales, and its leading tone is A sharp. So the key signature for B major is F sharp, C sharp, G sharp, D sharp, and A sharp. The principle is the same for all major scales with sharps. You may have already noticed that since key scales are ordered in fifths, the leading tones are also always positioned the same way. The order of leading tones that make up key signatures is also in the circle of fifths. Their order is F sharp, C sharp, G sharp, D sharp, A sharp, E sharp, and B sharp. Going down the circle of fifths, we get scales with flats. These flats are also ordered in the circle of fifths, and hopping through these fifths creates every new consecutive key signature. Instead of the leading tone as orientation, here we'll use the move of a fifth down to unveil the new flat. Perfect fifth down from F is B flat, so that is F major key signature. Let's move further to D flat major, for example. It will have all 4 flats inherited from previous scales, plus the new one, a fifth down from D flat, which is G flat. The key signature for D flat major would be then B flat, E flat, A flat, D flat, and G flat. Again, the principle is the same with all scales with flats. The order of flats is B flat, E flat, A flat, D flat, G flat, C flat, and F flat. And this is how you import them in your key signature. And to summarize key signatures, scales found in the circle of fifths going up contain sharps that serve as leading tones. Scales found in the circle of fifths going down contain flats. Both sharps and flats are also ordered in fifths. You can recognize and read key signatures with sharps by looking at the last sharp, that is the leading tone of the key. The scale starts just half step up. You can recognize and read key signatures with flats by looking at the penultimate flat in the key signature. That is your key. This is all. Have a wonderful week.